Life is full of challenges, and sometimes it feels like everything is spinning out of control. But what if I told you there's a way to remain calm, strong, and unshakable, no matter what life throws at you? That's the power of Stoicism. For centuries, the ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, mastered the art of inner peace, and their teachings are just as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. In a world that constantly tests your limits, Stoicism gives you the tools to rise above the chaos and live a life of purpose and resilience. Whether it's dealing with stress, managing relationships, or finding your path, the Stoic mindset can transform the way you approach everything. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed or stuck, this is the moment to take control. Today I'm sharing practical Stoic strategies to help you level up your life step by step. Before we get started, if you appreciate what we're doing, here's a simple free favor I'll ask from you. Hit that subscribe button and don't skip any part of the video, because every strategy builds on the last. Let's dive in. Strategy 1. Making yourself a priority. Let me tell you a story. Sarah was a high-achieving executive, a devoted mother, and a caring friend. She spent every waking moment taking care of everyone else, meeting deadlines, fulfilling obligations, and putting herself last. Until one day she collapsed from exhaustion. You've probably heard the saying, "You can't pour from an empty cup." But how often do you actually live by this principle? Most of us spend our days doing exactly what Sarah did. We've been conditioned to believe that self-sacrifice is virtuous, that putting others first is the mark of a good person. But what if that narrative is fundamentally flawed? What if true service to others begins with service to yourself? The Stoics understood this was a recipe for disaster. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that his time was limited and shouldn't be wasted on things that didn't serve his higher purpose. He wrote in his journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This wasn't just abstract philosophy, it was practical guidance for living a meaningful life amidst incredible demands as Emperor of Rome. Making yourself a priority isn't about being selfish. It's about ensuring you're in the best possible shape physically, mentally, and emotionally to handle whatever life throws your way. Think about it this way. If you're running on empty, burned out, exhausted, how can you possibly show up as your best self for anyone else? When you're depleted, your interactions become strained, your patience wears thin, your decision-making suffers, and your capacity for joy diminishes. You're not doing anyone favors by neglecting yourself. Start small. Create a morning routine that's just for you. Not for your job, not for your family, not for anyone else but you. This could be as simple as 5 minutes of meditation, a quick workout, or just quiet time with coffee. The key is consistency. This sacred time signals to yourself and the universe that you value your own well-being. It sets the tone for the entire day, establishing you as someone who honors their own needs. Use this time for self-affirmations. Remind yourself of your strengths, your capabilities, your worth. This isn't just positive thinking, it's literally rewiring your brain for long-term resilience and success. The science of neuroplasticity shows that consistent self-affirmation can actually create new neural pathways, strengthening your belief in your own competence and value. Set boundaries with people or situations that drain your energy. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Protect your time like it's the most valuable resource you have, because it absolutely is. Your time is the one resource you can never earn back. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that could nourish you. Remember this crucial truth. You're not a backup character in your own story. You're the main character. It's time to start acting like it. This doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities to others. It means recognizing that you cannot give what you don't have. You cannot lead others if you haven't learned to lead yourself. You cannot love others fully if you haven't learned to love yourself first. Your relationship with yourself is the foundation for every other relationship in your life. Make it a strong one. Strategy 2, enhancing your appearance. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This is Stoicism. Why are we talking about appearance? But the Stoics understood something profound. Your external world reflects your internal state. The connection between how you present yourself and how you feel internally is not superficial vanity, it's deep psychological wisdom. Enhancing your appearance has nothing to do with conforming to beauty standards or obsessing over how you look. It's about presenting yourself as the best version of who you are and feeling confident in how you show up in the world. When you feel good about how you look, you carry yourself differently, you speak with more confidence, and you interact with others more authentically. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, and our appearance is absolutely something within our control. This doesn't mean you need expensive clothes or complicated routines. It means finding a style that feels authentic to you. Something that says, "This is who I am," without you having to say a word. Your personal style is a form of nonverbal communication. It tells the world something about your values, your attention to detail, and your respect for yourself in the situations you enter. Pay attention to simple grooming, stand up straight, make eye contact. These small things send powerful signals to yourself and others. They say, "I respect myself and I'm ready for whatever comes." Your posture alone can change how you feel and how others perceive you. Research shows that standing tall can actually increase feelings of power and confidence. This isn't about spending money or keeping up with trends. It's about self-respect. When you take care of your appearance, you're telling yourself, "I'm worth the effort." That mindset shift alone can transform your entire day. Think about it this way. When you dress well for yourself, you're not doing it for others. You're doing it because you deserve to feel good about how you present yourself to the world. Your appearance becomes an external reminder of your internal commitment to excellence and discipline. It's your personal uniform for showing up ready to win. Just as an athlete puts on their uniform before a game, you put on your appearance to signal to yourself that it's time to perform at your highest level. This principle applies to all areas of your life. When you work from home, don't stay in pajamas all day. Dress in a way that signals work mode to your brain. When you exercise, wear clothes that make you feel capable and strong. When you meet friends, present yourself in a way that honors the importance of those relationships. The key is intentionality. Every choice about your appearance should be deliberate and purposeful, not random or careless. This doesn't mean being vain or obsessive. It means being thoughtful about how you present yourself in different contexts. Remember this: enhancing your appearance isn't about seeking validation from others. It's about validating yourself through thoughtful self-care and presentation. When you look in the mirror and feel good about what you see, that confidence radiates outward and affects every interaction you have throughout the day. The ancient Stoics understood that the small daily disciplines are what build character and create a life of excellence. Your appearance is simply one of those daily disciplines that supports your overall growth and development as a person. Strategy 3, the power of smiling. Here's something fascinating. Scientists have discovered that your smile is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever possess. It has a direct, measurable impact on your mood and brain chemistry. When you smile, even if you're not particularly happy, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. This isn't some new age nonsense. This is hard science, backed by decades of research. Your facial muscles literally send signals to your brain that influence your emotional state. This phenomenon, known as the facial feedback hypothesis, demonstrates that your physical expressions can actually shape your internal feelings. The Stoics understood this principle of choosing your response to external circumstances. They practiced what we might call premeditated responses, deliberately choosing their attitudes before facing challenging situations. Smiling in difficult situations doesn't mean you're pretending everything is fine. It means you're choosing your attitude in the face of adversity. It's a small act of rebellion against negativity and despair. When you smile during hardship, you're not denying the reality of your circumstances. You're declaring that your circumstances don't have the final say over your internal state. Your smile also has a ripple effect. It's contagious. When you smile at someone, they're likely to smile back. You might be the only person who smiles at them all day. Think about that impact. Your simple smile could be the bright spot in someone's otherwise difficult day. This creates a positive feedback loop. Your smile makes them feel better, their improved mood makes you feel better, and suddenly you've both elevated your emotional states together. Your smile changes the way you sound too. Try this experiment. Say something on the phone while frowning. Now say the same thing while smiling. People can hear the difference in your voice. Your smile makes you sound more approachable, more confident, more trustworthy. This is because smiling affects the muscles in your face and throat, changing the resonance and tone of your voice. It literally makes your voice sound warmer and more engaging. Start your day with a smile. Look in the mirror and smile at yourself. It might feel weird at first, but try it anyway. This morning smile sets a positive tone for your entire day, priming your brain to notice positive things throughout the day. Find moments throughout the day to smile, even when things get tough. When you're stuck in traffic, smile. When you're dealing with a difficult person, find something to smile about. When you're feeling overwhelmed, take a moment to smile. This isn't about being fake or inauthentic. It's about giving yourself a physiological boost when you need it most. Remember this. Your smile is your superpower. Use it wisely. It costs nothing, it takes minimal effort, and it has the power to transform your internal state and influence those around you. The Stoics believed in practicing virtue in all circumstances, and choosing to smile is practicing the virtue of maintaining a positive outlook, regardless of external events. Your smile becomes a daily practice of resilience, a physical manifestation of your inner strength and wisdom. Strategy 4. Staying kind. While setting boundaries, there will always be people who drain your energy, who don't have your best interests at heart, who take more than they give. The challenge isn't avoiding these people. That's impossible in life. The real challenge is staying kind while protecting your peace. Stoicism teaches us something revolutionary. You can remain calm and centered no matter how others behave. Your response is your choice. That's where your power lies. Kindness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It doesn't mean being a doormat or saying yes to everything. True kindness, combined with wisdom, knows when to say no and does so without guilt. Here's how this works in practice. Someone asks for your time, but you're already overwhelmed. The kind but boundaried response. I appreciate you thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity to give this the attention it deserves. No explanation needed. No apology required. Just clear, kind, firm boundaries. The key is to recognize that boundaries aren't barriers to keep people out. They're guidelines to help people understand how to treat you well. Think of boundaries as the fences around a garden. They don't prevent visitors from enjoying the flowers. They simply protect the garden so it can flourish and continue providing beauty for everyone to enjoy. Your personal garden of time, energy, and peace needs similar protection. Seneca was brilliant at this. He managed to be one of Rome's wealthiest men while maintaining deep relationships and his philosophical practice. How? He was ruthlessly protective of his time and energy. He understood that saying no to good opportunities was sometimes necessary to say yes to great ones. He practiced what he called selective ignorance, choosing not to engage with every demand, every drama, every invitation that came his way. Set boundaries without feeling guilty or needing to explain yourself. Your comfort and well-being are reason enough. When you explain too much, you're actually giving people ammunition to negotiate or make you feel guilty. Keep it simple. Keep it kind. Keep it firm. It's okay to limit contact with those who are toxic or constantly draining you, as Marcus Aurelius would say. This isn't about being mean. It's about being smart with your most precious resources. Your attention, your energy, your time. Think about it this way. You wouldn't hand your wallet to everyone who asks. You wouldn't give your car keys to strangers. Why treat your time and energy any differently? They're infinitely more valuable and completely irreplaceable. Practice the graceful no. This art involves declining requests while maintaining relationships and showing respect for both yourself and others. It might sound like, I'd love to help, but my schedule won't allow it right now. That sounds interesting, but I need to focus on my current commitments. I appreciate the invitation, but I need some quiet time this weekend. Each response acknowledges the request, validates the person, but maintains your boundary without apology. Boundaries are actually an act of self-care and genuine kindness. When you protect yourself, you have more to give to those who truly matter. Think of flight attendants who remind you to put on your own oxygen mask first before helping others. This isn't selfish. It's practical wisdom. You can't help others effectively if you're running on empty. Your boundary setting inspires others to do the same. When people see you respecting your own limits, they receive permission to respect their own. Your example creates a ripple effect of healthier relationships and more authentic connections. Strategy 5. Staying calm in the middle of chaos. Imagine this scenario. Deadlines are looming. Your phone won't stop buzzing. Everything seems to pile up at once. Most people would panic, but not you, because staying calm becomes your superpower. This is where Stoicism shines brightest. The core teaching: while we can't control external events, we have complete control over how we respond to them. Chaos will always exist. That's the nature of life. But your response to chaos? That's entirely up to you. Here's your emergency toolkit for when everything hits the fan at once. First, use your breath. It sounds simple because it is simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Try this technique. 4 counts breathing in, hold for 4 counts, Exhale for 4 counts. Do this 3 times. Feel your heart rate slow down. Feel your mind clear slightly. This breathing technique, known as box breathing, is used by Navy SEALs, first responders, and elite athletes to maintain calm under extreme pressure. It works by activating your parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the stress response. Second, reframe the situation. Ask yourself this powerful question: will this matter in 5 years? Most of what stresses us out won't even be remembered in 5 months, let alone 5 years. This isn't about dismissing your current challenges. It's about gaining perspective and recognizing that most problems are temporary and manageable. Another powerful reframing question: what's the worst that could actually happen? Often when we examine our fears rationally, we discover that even the worst-case scenario is something we could handle. This rational assessment takes the emotional charge out of stressful situations. Third, focus on what's within your control. You can't control the traffic, but you can control when you leave. You can't control your boss's mood, but you can control your preparations and attitude. You can't control everything happening around you, but you can control your thoughts, actions, and response. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control, separating what depends on us from what doesn't depend on us. By focusing only on what we can control, we conserve our energy and reduce our anxiety significantly. Fourth, practice emergency visualization. Before entering a stressful situation, visualize yourself handling it calmly and effectively. See yourself responding with clarity, maintaining your composure, and finding solutions. This mental rehearsal primes your brain for the desired response. When the actual situation arises, your mind already knows how to handle it. Fifth, create a chaos ritual. Develop a simple routine you can instantly deploy when things get overwhelming. It might be as simple as step away for 2 minutes, take 3 deep breaths, recite a calming phrase, and return with renewed focus. Having a pre-planned response eliminates the need to figure out what to do in the middle of chaos. When you stay calm under pressure, something magical happens. People notice. They trust you more. They respect your ability to handle difficult situations. You become the person others turn to when things get tough. That's not just a leadership skill, that's a life skill. It affects every area of your life, your relationships, your career, your health, and your overall well-being. Remember this: panic doesn't solve problems. Clarity does, and clarity comes from calmness. The Stoics understood that emotional turbulence clouds judgment, while emotional stability creates the conditions for wise decision-making. Your ability to remain calm isn't just about feeling better. It's about performing better and leading better in every situation you face. Strategy 6. Setting your own course. In a world constantly telling you what to do, who to be, how to live, setting your own course is an act of rebellion. It's about taking back control of your life and steering it in the direction you genuinely want to go, not where others are pushing you. The Stoics were masters of this principle. Despite living in a world that demanded conformity, they dared to think differently, live differently, be different. Here's how you start. Get crystal clear on your core values. What matters most to you? Freedom, creativity, family, growth? Don't just think about these words. Live with them. Question them. Test them in real situations. Your values become your compass when the world gets noisy. Take time to write down your personal philosophy. What do you believe about life? What principles guide your decisions? What legacy do you want to leave? This isn't just an academic exercise. It's about creating a personal constitution that guides your choices when external pressures mount. Next, set goals that are true to you. Not your parents' goals, not society's goals, not what social media tells you should want. Your goals, authentic, meaningful, aligned with your deepest values. Break these goals down into actionable steps. Create a roadmap that honors your authentic path, not someone else's expectations. Review and adjust regularly as you learn and grow. Growth happens when you challenge yourself and intentionally embrace discomfort. The Stoics called this voluntary hardship, putting yourself in challenging situations by choice to build resilience and strength. This might mean taking on difficult projects, having uncomfortable conversations, or stepping into roles that stretch your capabilities. Each challenge you voluntarily face expands your comfort zone and strengthens your character. Trust your intuition. Your gut feelings aren't random emotions. They're often the accumulated wisdom of your values and experiences, speaking to you in whispers. Learn to listen. Your intuition often knows what your analytical mind cannot yet process. It's the result of countless patterns and experiences your subconscious has absorbed. Practice distinguishing between fear-based intuition and wisdom-based intuition. Fear often feels contracting and urgent. Wisdom feels expansive and clear. This isn't a race, it's a journey. Sometimes the path curves unexpectedly. Sometimes you need to pivot. Stay curious, stay adaptable. The person who figures things out as they go always beats the person who thinks they have it all figured out. Embrace uncertainty as part of the adventure. Life rarely follows straight lines. The most interesting journeys often include unexpected detours that lead to discoveries you never would have planned. Practice autonomous decision-making. Start small and build confidence in trusting your own judgment. Choose your own lunch without asking others' opinions. Make weekend plans based on what genuinely interests you. Speak up in meetings with your authentic perspective. Each autonomous decision strengthens your ability to chart your own course. Marcus Aurelius wrote this to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Setting your own course isn't about controlling the world. It's about mastering yourself, and that's where true freedom begins. This internal freedom allows you to navigate external circumstances with grace and purpose, regardless of what challenges arise. Your course becomes an expression of your highest self, guided by wisdom rather than convention, authenticity rather than approval, purpose rather than pressure. We've covered 6 powerful strategies that can transform how you approach life. But here's the thing, we're only halfway through. The next 5 strategies are where the real magic happens. These aren't just theoretical concepts, they're practical tools for building an unshakable foundation of resilience and strength. If you're finding value in these teachings, and I hope you are, take a moment right now to subscribe and join our community of Stoic thinkers. Your journey to greatness starts with that first click. When you subscribe, you're not just getting content, you're investing in yourself and committing to becoming the strongest version of who you are. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss the life-changing strategies coming up next. Strategy 7. Making your stand. This is all about standing firm in who you are and what you believe in. In today's world of endless opinions, constant criticism, and pressure to conform, standing firm takes courage. True strength comes from within. Making your stand means holding on to your values, even when it feels like the entire world is pulling you elsewhere. The Stoics faced this constantly. They lived in times that demanded conformity, yet they dared to think differently, to live according to their principles. Marcus Aurelius, despite being emperor, maintained his philosophical practice even when it was unpopular or misunderstood by those around him. He wrote his private meditations not for publication, but as his personal anchor in a world of political intrigue and constant pressure. Start by knowing your values inside and out. What are your non-negotiables? What would you refuse to compromise no matter the consequences? Write these down, meditate on them, test them in real situations. Your values aren't just abstract concepts, they're your personal constitution, the foundation upon which you build every decision, every relationship, every aspect of your life. Sometimes making your stand is as simple as living in a way that reflects your values. Actions speak louder than words. Your consistent choices show the world what you truly believe. When you say you value integrity but cut corners for convenience, you're teaching people that your values are negotiable. When you say you value respect but tolerate disrespectful behavior, you're showing that your principles have exceptions. Living your values means sometimes making difficult choices that might cost you something in the short term, but preserve your integrity in the long term. Standing firm might sometimes mean standing alone. Epictetus said something profound. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Think about that. Real growth often requires being misunderstood by others. Your commitment to your values might seem foolish to people who don't understand your journey. That's okay. The path less traveled is often less crowded for a reason. Most people choose comfort over conviction, conformity over authenticity, approval over integrity. Choosing the harder path of standing by your principles sets you apart not because you're better, but because you're willing to do what's difficult rather than what's easy. Pick your battles wisely. Not every situation requires you to dig in your heels. Sometimes wisdom means staying silent. Sometimes it means speaking up. Discernment is key. The Stoics called this the appropriate action, knowing when to act and when to accept, when to speak and when to listen, when to stand firm and when to yield. This wisdom comes from practice, from paying attention, from learning the difference between ego-driven resistance and principle-based conviction. Sometimes the strongest stand you can take is walking away from arguments that don't matter, from conflicts that drain your energy, from people who refuse to see reason. Your energy is precious. Save it for battles that count. Remember this: consistency builds character. When you consistently live according to your values, even when it's difficult, you build something unshakable. People will notice. They might not always agree, but they will respect your authenticity. Consistency creates trust, both with others and with yourself. When you know you can count on yourself to honor your own principles, you develop a deep sense of self-respect and confidence that external validation can never provide. This internal consistency becomes your North Star, guiding you through confusion, doubt, and difficulty. When faced with a decision, you don't need to wonder what the right choice is. You simply ask, does this align with my values? Does this honor the person I'm committed to becoming? The answer becomes clear. Your stand becomes not just a position you take, but the very ground upon which you stand. Strategy 8. Nurturing your wit and humor. Humor and wit are incredibly powerful tools, especially when things get tough. Life will throw challenges at you. situations will seem absurd. People will behave in ways that defy logic. Your ability to find humor in these moments isn't just entertaining, it's a survival mechanism. This isn't about being a comedian or trying to be funny all the time. It's about cultivating a perspective that allows you to see the lighter side of things when everything feels heavy. The Stoics, despite their reputation for being serious philosophers, actually had a great appreciation for humor and wit. They understood that laughter was not the enemy of wisdom, but often its companion. Marcus Aurelius himself would often note the ridiculousness of human behavior with a wry smile, recognizing the cosmic joke in how seriously we take ourselves. Learn to laugh at yourself. This shows incredible confidence and immediately disarms others. When you can poke fun at your own mistakes, foolishness, or imperfections, you demonstrate wisdom and emotional maturity. Self-deprecating humor doesn't mean putting yourself down. It means recognizing your humanity and not taking yourself so seriously that you can't see your own flaws with affection and humor. As Seneca brilliantly said, "He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at." Think about that. When you're the source of your own humor, you're never dependent on external circumstances for entertainment. You become the architect of your own joy, rather than a passive recipient of whatever life throws your way. This independence is the essence of Stoic freedom. A sense of humor helps you keep things in perspective. It helps you notice the absurdities of everyday life and not take everything so seriously. When you can step back and see the humor in your own problems, they often seem smaller and more manageable. Humor creates psychological distance, allowing you to observe your challenges rather than being completely immersed in them. This distance gives you clarity and the emotional space to find creative solutions. Timing is crucial. Know when to inject humor to lighten the mood and diffuse tension. Know when to be serious and when levity is appropriate. This wisdom comes with practice and paying attention to social dynamics. Reading the room is an essential skill. Sometimes humor can heal, sometimes it can harm. The difference often lies in timing, intent, and understanding your audience. Humor is also a great coping mechanism for personal challenges. When you're going through something difficult, finding the funny side doesn't minimize the struggle. It makes you more resilient and better equipped to handle it. Laughter releases endorphins, reduces stress hormones, and improves your mood almost instantly. It's a natural medicine with no side effects. The ability to find humor in adversity is a sign of emotional intelligence and psychological flexibility. It shows that you can hold both the seriousness of your situation and the lightness of perspective at the same time. The Stoics understood that laughter isn't the opposite of seriousness. It's the companion of wisdom. A truly wise person can hold both perspectives, the gravity of life's challenges and the lightness of not taking themselves too seriously. This balance is the hallmark of emotional maturity and spiritual wisdom. Cultivate humor by exposing yourself to clever comedy, reading witty authors, and spending time with people who make you laugh. But most importantly, practice seeing the humor in your own life. Your mistakes, your awkward moments, your misunderstandings. These aren't failures. They're material for your next great story, told with laughter. Strategy 9. Being respectful of everyone. Stoicism places enormous value on treating others with dignity and respect, regardless of their status, opinions, or actions. This isn't about being a people pleaser or avoiding conflict. It's about recognizing the inherent worth in every human being and acting accordingly. Being respectful doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone or even like everyone. You can strongly disagree with someone's views while still treating them with basic human dignity. One of the easiest ways to show respect is simply by listening, not waiting for your turn to talk, not planning your response while they're speaking, actually listening to understand their perspective. This simple act is increasingly rare in our distracted world. Learn to disagree without being disagreeable. You can make your point strongly and passionately without attacking the person who holds different views. Focus on ideas, not individuals. Challenge positions, not people. Respect shows up in little things. Being on time for meetings, acknowledging someone's effort, saying thank you sincerely, using someone's name correctly. These small gestures build trust and rapport. Remember this crucial principle. Respect is a two-way street. When you consistently show respect, you create an environment where others are more likely to return that respect. But don't do it expecting return. Do it because it's right. Respect doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. You can be firm and assertive while still being respectful. Setting boundaries respectfully is actually a sign of self-respect too. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily to treat people as they deserve to be treated based on their character, not their reputation or status. That's the essence of Stoic respect. It's about seeing beyond surface-level differences and recognizing the humanity in everyone. Strategy 10. Setting clear parameters. Setting boundaries or parameters is all about knowing where your limits are and making sure others understand them too. Without clear boundaries, you'll eventually burn out. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The Stoics understood this better than almost anyone. They built their philosophy around the concept of control, knowing what's yours to manage and what isn't. First step is knowing your own limits. What are you comfortable with? What makes you feel drained? What energizes you? What situations trigger stress? Be brutally honest with yourself. Most people either overestimate their capacity or underestimate their needs. Neither serves you well. Communicating those boundaries is absolutely crucial. You can't expect people to know where your lines are if you don't tell them. This doesn't require long explanations or dramatic announcements. Simple, clear communication works best. I can't stay late tonight. I need some quiet time to recharge this weekend. I'm not comfortable discussing that topic. You don't have to explain or justify your boundaries. Your comfort and well-being are reason enough. Consistency is key. You've got to stick to the boundaries you set. If you're inconsistent, people learn they can push past your limits eventually. Remember, boundaries go both ways. Respect others' limits too. This creates mutual understanding and healthier relationships. Saying no isn't selfish. It's self-care. It's preservation of your most valuable resources. Epictetus taught that we should focus only on what's within our control. Your boundaries are absolutely within your control. Protect them fiercely. Strategy 11. Cutting out negative energy. Let me ask you something. What's draining your energy right now? Is it a toxic relationship, a bad habit you can't shake, an environment that brings you down? Or maybe it's your own thoughts, constantly criticizing yourself. Negative energy can come from many sources: people, habits, environments, even your own thoughts. Cutting out negative energy is about reclaiming your mental space and creating room for positivity and growth. This might be the most challenging strategy, but it's also one of the most transformative. Start by taking an honest look at the people around you. Who lifts you up? Who drains you? Who supports your growth? Who holds you back? This assessment requires courage. Sometimes it means recognizing toxic dynamics in relationships we've had for years. Pay attention to your self-talk. Are you constantly doubting yourself, criticizing your actions, replaying negative scenarios? Your inner dialogue shapes your reality. If it's consistently negative, you're fighting an uphill battle. Replace self-criticism with self-compassion. Replace doubt with curiosity. Replace negativity with possibility. Practice thought awareness. Notice when negative thoughts arise without judgment. Simply observe them like clouds passing in the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. This distinction gives you the power to choose which thoughts to engage and which to let go. Take inventory of your daily habits. What's adding value? What's just draining you? Social media comparison? News obsession? Procrastination patterns? Be ruthlessly honest. Create a negativity audit of your typical week. Track your mood and energy after different activities. Notice which environments leave you feeling energized versus depleted. This data helps you make informed decisions about what needs to change. Sometimes this means making tough decisions, letting go of toxic relationships even when they're familiar, breaking bad habits even when they're comfortable, changing environments even when they're comfortable. Remember that familiarity doesn't equal health. Just because you're used to certain patterns doesn't mean they serve you. The Stoics practice negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell on them, but to prepare for them and realize they're survivable. This practice actually reduces fear and anxiety by showing your mind that you can handle adversity. Small steps lead to big changes. You don't have to transform everything overnight. Start with one negative influence and remove it. Then another, then another. Create replacement strategies. For every negative habit you eliminate, have a positive alternative ready to implement. If you're cutting out mindless social media scrolling, replace it with reading or meaningful conversation. If you're removing toxic relationships, replace them with communities that support your growth. By removing negativity, you make space for a more focused, fulfilling life. You become the curator of your own experience, choosing what enters your mental and emotional space. This is ultimate freedom. The Stoics called this the inner citadel, your fortress of mind, protected from external chaos. Your job is to guard the gates wisely. This doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means engaging with the world intentionally and selectively, choosing what serves your growth and avoiding what drains your energy. The goal isn't to avoid all negative experiences. That's impossible and unhealthy. The goal is to develop the wisdom and strength to navigate challenges without being consumed by them. Conclusion. Your life is shaped by what you allow and what you cut out. These 11 strategies aren't just theoretical concepts. They're practical tools for building a life of purpose, strength, and unshakable resilience. Every decision you make to prioritize yourself, set boundaries, and protect your energy brings you closer to becoming the best version of who you're meant to be. Remember this fundamental truth. You have the power to control how you respond to everything life throws at you. And that's where true strength lies. Not in controlling circumstances, but in mastering yourself. Making yourself a priority isn't selfish, it's strategic. Enhancing your appearance isn't vain, it's self-respect. Smiling through challenges isn't denial, it's choosing your attitude. Setting boundaries isn't mean, it's necessary. Staying calm in chaos isn't passive, it's powerful. Setting your own course isn't rebellious, it's authentic. Making your stand isn't stubborn, it's principled. Nurturing humor isn't frivolous, it's wisdom. Being respectful isn't weak, it's strong. Setting clear parameters isn't restrictive, it's protective. Cutting out negative energy isn't avoidance, it's strategic. These strategies work together to create a foundation for extraordinary living. They're not always easy, but they're always effective. The journey to mastery is not a destination you arrive at once, but a path you walk step by step, day by day. Each small victory builds momentum. Each setback becomes a lesson. Each moment of choice becomes an opportunity to practice your principles. This is the essence of Stoic practice. Not perfection, but progress. Not enlightenment, but engagement. Not escape from life, but mastery within it. Think of these strategies as tools in your toolkit. Some days you'll need the hammer of courage. Other days you'll need the measuring tape of boundaries. Sometimes you'll need the flashlight of clarity to navigate dark moments. The more you practice, the more natural they become. What once requires conscious effort becomes second nature. What once feels difficult becomes your default response. This is how transformation happens. Gradually, consistently, patiently. The Stoics understood that lasting change comes not from dramatic breakthroughs, but from daily disciplines compounded over time. Your morning routine of putting yourself first becomes automatic. Your practice of smiling through difficulty becomes your natural response. Your ability to set boundaries becomes stronger with each conversation. Your capacity for calm deepens with each challenge faced. Your authentic path becomes clearer with each decision made. Remember that progress is not linear. There will be days when you fall back into old patterns. That's not failure. That's being human. The key is not to stay down, but to get back up and return to your practices. Each time you choose to prioritize yourself instead of sacrificing, you strengthen that muscle. Each time you choose to smile instead of complain, you rewire your brain. Each time you choose to set a boundary instead of resent, you honor your worth. Each time you choose to stay calm instead of panic, you build resilience. These small choices made consistently create extraordinary results over time. Before you go, if these 11 strategies resonated with you, here's what I need from you. First, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're constantly sharing life-changing content that will help you level up your Stoic practice. Second, share this video with someone who needs this wisdom right now. Maybe it's a friend who's struggling with stress, a colleague facing challenges, or a family member who could use some resilience. Together, we can build a community of resilient, wise, and unstoppable individuals committed to living with purpose and strength. This is Stoic Ocean, reminding you that your best life begins with your best mindset. Stay strong, stay grounded, and keep moving forward on your Stoic journey. The world needs what you have to offer. Don't let anything or anyone diminish your light. You've got this. Always remember, your response is your power. Use it wisely. The journey continues, and so does your growth. Every day is a new opportunity to practice these principles, to strengthen your character, and to become more fully the person you're meant to be. Your transformed life doesn't just benefit you, it inspires others to begin their own journey of growth and wisdom. In this way, your personal evolution becomes a gift to humanity as well as to yourself. That is the ultimate expression of Stoic philosophy, living in a way that serves both your own development and the greater good.